Hi there, the Melon Man here, coming to you live from Myrtle Beach. I'm just going to be doing a few of my favorite yoga postures with you this morning. I think I've got 12 yoga postures that are my favorite postures, 12 to 15 postures. We'll work through the 12 to 15 postures, and we will be focusing on breathing and moving at the same time. So we're going to try to make the yoga practice a mindful practice. And when I say mindful, it's like we're not trying to get caught up with thoughts that are going on inside of our heads. It's taking a moment to be very focused on exactly what it is we're thinking about. And what we're going to be trying to be thinking about this morning is we're going to be trying to think about the posture, the movement, and the breathing. And we're going to try to hold each posture for 1 to 3 breaths. I like to hold for 3 breaths, but if you're a beginner, maybe you can only hold for 1, and then you've got to take a little bit of a break, and that's okay. I'm hoping to get 1 to 3 breaths in each position for you, in a posture, breathing. And if you notice your mind getting caught up in something that's got to happen later today, just try to bring your mind back to now, trying to bring our mind to the present, trying to stay in the present all the time. It's the present moment where all the magic happens. You can't create anything different in your life in the future. You can only create something different in your life right here, right now. So we want to get you to be here and now as often as possible. That's the mindfulness bit of this program. So let's do our yoga practice this morning, and let's try to be mindful while we do it. Okay, so I'm going to start off in a tabletop position, and all I'm going to work on to start off is just an arcing of my back, a flexing over of my spine, and then an extension of my spine. Okay, so see that again? It's just it's a flexion, a full, complete flexion of my spine, and then a full, complete extension. We call that a cat and cow. That's just warming up my spine. That's so important to have a spine that's able to flex and extend. So we'll try and see if we can exhale. We'll inhale as we extend, and exhale as we flex. Let's try and do 3 times. Inhale. And exhale. All right. For our next posture, our next movement, we're going to be working on our bird dog. So it's going to be an extension through the back of the body. I'm going to try to lift my leg as high as I can and extend my hand out in front of my body as high as I can. So I want to get that extension through my spine. I want to lift my hand as high as I can, lift my heel as high as I can, and extend my spine. Always when I extend, I'm trying to take my breath in, as I relax and flex over, I breathe out. All right, so that's 3 of those bird dogs on each side. The next one we'll do, we're just gonna get into a high plank. So I'm just gonna get up onto my toes and my hands, and trying to keep my body in a nice straight line from my head, from my shoulders, all the way down to my heels. Trying to keep my shoulders over top of my hands, looking down over top of my fingers, nice straight arms, just breathing there for 3 nice full breaths. Right. Allowing my knees to come back down to the mat. I'm going to get myself into a baby cobra position, down on my elbows, and I've got my head lifted, so I'm trying to extend my spine. I'm looking forwards, upwards slightly. Working through my breath. All right, so that's a nice little extension through my spine. We'll go over the other way now and allow my spine to flex over with the child's pose. Dropping down on my knees, relaxing through my hips, allowing my head to come all the way down to the mat or to my hands for 3 nice deep breaths. I always like to really work on flexion and extension through the spine. in our yoga class. Every Thursday morning yoga, if you can make it. Here I am in a low squat. Okay. This is a great position to open up those inner thighs, warm up those glutes. I can press outwards on my knees. Give you a different angle here. I'm pressing outwards on my knees. And I'm looking upwards so that I'm creating that extension again, that spinal extension. I'm opening up my inner thighs. I'm dropping as low as I can into the position and taking 3 full breaths in that position. All right. Our next one. I'm going to have one leg forward, one knee back on the mat. I'm lunging forward. I got both my hands to the inside of my front foot. My back knee's supported on the mat, on the sand. I'm lunging as far forward as I can. I'm stretching out my back hip flexor here through my hamstrings in the front, lunging as far forward as I can for my 3 breaths. Right. Same thing, we'll get 3 centering breaths on the other side, lunging as far forward as I can into that front leg. The front heel is flat on the floor. My back hip flexor is stretching out. And I take my 3 centering breaths, both hands to the instep of my front foot. All right, taking that foot back, both knees to the back now. Now I'm gonna go back into that cobra position. We did the baby cobra down on the elbows. If that's enough to just be down on your elbows, you can just work from your elbows. If you can do your cobra from your hands, straightening out those arms, chest forward, looking upwards, that's gonna create more extension through the spine. Stretching out my hip flexors in the front, my abdominals. some crazy lady on the beach. All right, popping myself back up into high plank. I'm gonna try to lift my tailbone high into the air. I'm pushing my heels down, one heel down, stretching out the calves and ankles. Other heel down, stretching out the calves and ankles. Working up towards my downward facing dog. Just warming up the calves and ankles first. I'm gonna press through the palms of my hands now, pushing both my heels down, lifting my tailbone as high as I can. And coming back into high plank. From there, I'll put my knees down. I'm going to bring one foot forward again. Both hands to the instep. This time I'm going to pick up my back knee, lunging forward into that front leg. 3 centering breaths. Same thing on the other side. Knees come down, other foot comes forward. Pick up that back knee, lunging forward into that front leg, stretching out my back hip flexor. 3 centering breaths. Letting that knee come down again. Popping myself up this time. I'm going to try a good flexion position. My hamstring stretch. I'm just hanging over, letting my head hang down, relaxing my spine, letting it flex way over, relaxing through my hamstrings. Letting it all hang over, flex over, and breathe. And then we'll try to work over to one side, keeping the legs as straight as I can, pulling my head towards the knee and centering with my breath. Working myself over to the other side. Pulling my head towards my knee, keeping my leg as straight as I can. All right. Heel toe those feet back together. And we'll drop ourselves back down to our knees. And we'll work on our camel pose, reaching back, extending the body, reaching back for the heels, opening up the chest and shoulders, and breathing there. Coming back into my high plank position and back into my downward facing dog, pushing my heels down, pressing through the palms of my hands, relaxing the chest towards the mat, butt way up in the air. Coming forward again into high plank. Just gonna step that foot up one more time. From here, we've got that lunge forward again, straight back leg. Gonna add some rotation to my body. It's gonna take my inside hand, the hand that's closest to my foot. Gonna take that hand right up to the sky, straighten out my back leg, press through the floor, twisting back, looking upwards. And taking that hand down, we'll take up the outside hand straight upwards, pressing into the mat, looking upwards. Allowing that back knee to return to the floor, to the mat. Switching out, other knee forward. Lunging forward, straighten out that back leg, pick that back knee up. Then we're going to work on the rotation, taking that inside hand straight up to the sky, pressing through the mat, rotating, and centering with your breath. And then that outside hand, same thing. A little bit of balance there. Foot coming back, I'm back into my high plank position. Pressing through that downward facing dog one more time. Coming forward again into high plank. Let's bring that knee forward between my hands. Again, I'm extending through my spine, lifting my chest upwards, looking upwards, leaning forwards, and then I'm going to come over that front knee and flex over. And from there, taking that foot back, bringing the knee forward. Collapsing down. And I think I missed this one. Chest forward. And there we have it, guys. My favorite dozen yoga postures, all kind of pulled together with some breath work, some simple breathing, focusing on our breath while we're inside of each one of those postures. It's going to help us to bring us to the now, to the moment where all the magic happens, where we raise our energy up for the day. And it's what I'm suggesting that we do first thing in the morning or at the end of the day, whether we want to do the full yoga and breathing, or we just want to work on the breath work, the mindfulness, meditation. First thing in the morning, at the end of the day. This is how we get our energy in the right space to move forward and create the life of our dreams. Isn't that what we all want? The life of our dreams? I know I do. So I make a point of doing it myself. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can just click on any of the links that are associated with this video, and we can have a little personal discussion.